Bam, bam, bam. Me and guest in chat.
Hey, so I'm
And
gonna have
we're
to put my
live.
foot.
We're officially live, Lance. So don't talk anything bad about NBL like you were doing in the green room. Oh, hi NBL. How you doing? How's
Yeah,
it going,
oh yeah,
everybody?
there it is. It just came back. Oh,
All right. Had my sound off, of course. Had the YouTube audio running. So let me see. Let's see who's in the chat. What's up, Bat? How you doing, Bat? Welcome,
is
welcome.
there is there
Uh,
actual need to have to trans this live?
what was that?
It's actually asking me, do I want this live to be translated? But
Oh
you're not speaking Spanish or
no,
anything,
unless you want me to speak Spanish, Lance, we could definitely go that route.
I'm good. I put my phone at a convenient spot where it doesn't look like I'm looking down.
Oh yeah, Wine Cellar in View says hello, Lance.
Hey, Nicole.
Good evening, everybody. I got my popcorn popping and my beer and chilling. Welcome, NBL. Thank you. Let me see, Bat 3. Da, da, da.
Still there.
Let's see. NBL says, Sal, be nice to Lance. We all know how sensitive he gets when you bring up his Old Testament past. He stitched the coat of many colors and he was Moses' old school chum. already with the jokes. You see
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Oh, Simon coming in hot. Hello, fuckers. Yeah, he's.
yeah. We're gonna share my trademark, I guess.
You should put that on a shirt, Lance. I'm telling you, put that
I
on your
got it
store.
from I got it from a band, a '70s a group I used to follow when back in the '70s. They were called Kix, Kix,
Yeah,
and they just retired like September of last year, and that's how he opened up every show.
yeah.
You know, but
We're getting a little lag there.
yeah, I've got a huge lag on my end.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit. But for those joining the chat, we do have a poll up there. So tonight's topic is mainly I was talking to Lance. I was telling him that we're first of all, make sure you vote if you haven't already. But I just want to get a quick glimpse of the people that pop on the live to see whether you're the type of person to just go mainstream, whatever's at the store, whatever's at your Kroger, your Walmart, whatever is just widely available. You just grab whatever's on the shelf and maybe have favorites, that are just constantly there. Or maybe you're the type to just go for the independent, companies. Uncle Steve's a big one. I know that's very popular amongst our little barbecue community. But there's so many other independent rubs that you can purchase, and I know there's another some people just like making their own. They'll just never buy rubs or buy them very sparingly. They just might like to experiment. They think that's part of the cooking. Where they make stuff themselves and experiment and figure out what works good with certain meats, and they just kind of stick with it and maybe make a big jar of the stuff and then just keep it around. So they would never have to purchase outside of that except for the individual spices. But I just want to give a quick little poll there because I am interested, and me and Lance. Well, let me ask you, Lance. What do you prefer? Are you all over the map? Because I think I fall in the all of the above category.
I have tried a couple store purchased rubs before, and I'll be honest with you. I just was never really happy with them. I mean, they weren't like a name of a rub that that we would be recommend or that we would be familiar with, I should say, within the barbecue community. But um, I just haven't had luck with it. Now, around by me, there's the Ace True Value stores. Um, they really carry a lot of rubs. Unfortunately, some of them I've tried, some of them I've tried and didn't like.
Hmm.
Some of them I've tried and would try them again, but I have the rub that really probably covers everything I want to do. If I want
Yeah.
to, Uncle Steve's rub. I mean, people are probably, somewhere along the line, I'm sure they're going to say, "God, man, do you always talk about Uncle Steve?" It's just the truth. I enjoy his product. I can use it for making bacon. I've made sausage links with it.
Yeah.
I've roasted peanuts with it. I mean, that's oddball stuff, I should say oddball stuff, but not most people, if they were going out in the backyard and cooking something, what's up, Johnny? They wouldn't, you know, they're no, they're not going to use on a regular, normal basis Uncle Steve's rub to make, some bacon or sausage,
Yeah.
unless you're Daddy Dutch,
Yeah.
But I just like his rubs. I mean, they cover everything I want to do with them.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with them. I had a guy over here. I'm doing some drywall work at his daughter and son-in-law's house, and the basement of this place flooded out. So I'm replacing all the sheetrock in it for him, and I gave him those little sample jars that Uncle Steve gave me with the SPG
Oh, that stuff
and
is
the,
good.
the drip shake. Yeah. But he was over there smelling all my rubs. He was opening every jar, sticking his nose. The
And that
guy
I think
he says he loves seasonings.
yeah, I think that's gonna open up an addiction because it's very it once you start experimenting and there's just so many out there just from different companies and everything where it's you could easily go your entire life and probably not try them all because there's just
Yeah,
so much out there. So I know you said that you've experimented, you've tried different things, but Uncle Steve's stuff is usually what you kind of, now it's kind of your go-to now, when you're not sure of what to put on a steak, you're just like, I'm just going to grab this Uncle Steve and it's going to be great.
well,
But how long did it take you to get that? Was that always the case? What was before Uncle Steve showed up at your doorstep? What was it before?
Texas rib grind. I mean, I still like Bill Purvis's Texas rib grind.
Yeah.
Um, it's more of a convenience thing with Uncle Steve's SPG because I'm
Yeah.
usually getting something else in than paying a freight for just one bottle of
Yeah.
Bill stuff that come to me from Texas, or two bottles. I don't really I don't like stocking up real heavy
Yeah.
on seasoning because I don't care what anybody says. There's a shelf life to them.
Yeah.
And when they're nice and fresh, it's different from something that's been sitting, around for 5 months, 6 months, whatever.
Yeah.
You can shake it all you want, but it's just there's a difference there. Just that that pow in your face, in your nose that you just don't get when it sits around for 6 months. But
Yeah.
I would just, if I could also say one thing while I was telling you, my buddy had his nose in all the jars. I told him about the Randy had a thing where he tried Gator Shake in a beer, and I said, "Here, try this." And
Yeah.
now he talked about it this morning. He's like, "God, I couldn't get that off my mind after I went home." But
Now the Gator Shake, it's like it's kind of that lemon taste, right? I've never had Gator Shake, but I think I've been told that it was like kind of a tajin kind of thing, right? Like lemony, spicy, salty. Is that what it
yeah,
is?
a little bite to it. It's definitely a little zesty.
Yeah.
It is excellent, excellent. I mean, it's on a lot of stuff, but when you put it on seafood, it's always rocked seafood that I put it on. It's been great, really
Yeah.
good, really. But
Yeah.
as far as other rubs that I have tried, I mean,
Uh-oh. Got a little bit of a lag.
I've tried a nut on my end.
I think you're good now.
Okay, but I've tried a number of different rubs. You know, Meat Church.
Yeah.
Uh, was it Hodgson?
Yeah.
I've tried Mark. What's it? Something Swine, Mad Swine, or something like that.
Yeah.
I've tried his stuff. I've tried. I mean, there's a lot of them that I've tried, and I'm not a salt person.
Hmm.
And usually, if it's a high salt content, I'm not a fan of the rub. I can't. It just
Yeah.
doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying vodka rub, and I agree. And Al Lunacy's here, and I know firsthand. I've tried both of his rubs, and they're outstanding. They're delicious, and they go great on everything. So that's a really good recommendation. People are talking about it in the chat. So shout out to Al for his rub. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I haven't tried his vodka rub.
Yeah.
Um, I was actually, what did Simon put in there almost at the very beginning of the question? I meant to go back, but then I got
By the
hung up
way,
in the,
and I know I'm not saying hi to the people that joined us, but I see you guys. Thank you, Johnny, Rolling Smoke, Rob over there, Rolling Smoke, and Simon. Thank you guys for joining. And Al Lunacy, Hojo is saying Zavala has a barbecue club. Sends me 2 rubs and sauces each month from various places in Texas. That is really cool. That's something that I've heard of before, where they do like a monthly kind of thing, and you just get 2 random things, and you
Mhm.
try them out, and hey, back to my original comment about there's just not enough years for people to try everything, and that's probably a good way to discover new things. Is just getting sent two
Yeah.
random ones.
I think I saw that on Hojo's. Man, there's a terrible lag. I saw those on Hojo on Instagram a couple of days, but I actually did a review on Raw Spice Club. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. You picture you know what type of stuff that you normally cook, and I mean anything from even a salad seasoning, but
Yeah.
and then I thought it was really reasonable, but it didn't really do that well. But again, I hate blaming that on the product because I liked the product. I thought it was
Yeah.
good. The only thing I didn't like was that, I mean, it's basically a one and done thing. You open up the package, and there's enough in there to season up whatever you're cooking, and then you're pretty much done.
Yeah. Yeah, and back to your, yeah, I know I wanted to talk about that specific about salt. How do you get, how do you know how much rub to put? Like, you're trying a new rub, how do you know how much to put? Do you just taste it and you kind of go for that, or do you just try it on like chicken? Something you're not going to mess up on. How do you determine when something is just too salty? Because I know some, and it would going back to Al Lunacy's, he told me, hey, it doesn't have a lot of salt, so you got to compensate it with something else. Which, first of all, I love that when because this way the jar is not filled with a bunch of salt. Then I get to
Right.
determine how much salt to put on my piece of steak or whatever. So I appreciate when rub manufacturers do that, where they're low salt or even no salt, although that's a little bit uncommon now for rubs. I know SNS grills when they used to sell their rub, it used to be saltless. So but and I wish more people did it, but I understand the whole reasoning behind not doing it. But how do you, Lance, how do you determine whether how do you check the salt content for a particular rub that you've never used before?
Well, if it's really crazy in salt, you can usually, sometimes see it through the jar, but I'll put some of it into the palm of my hand
Yeah.
and, I actually taste it from the palm of my hand. I mean, I won't let that be the final judgment,
Yeah.
but I will base on what I will base that taste for how much I use
Yeah.
of the seasoning. Um, I personally, I like to, when I'm using a seasoning, I want to see it on the protein. I mean, that's sort of kind of how I season things up. It's not
Yeah.
just a little quick dusting.
Yeah.
But that's just
Okay.
how I do it. I mean, I want to see a little bit of it on there, and it don't have to be crazy heavy,
Yeah.
but I do see it because I think you get color from it too.
Yeah. So here, Barrio Cuco says that buy the cheapest rubs like Boulder's Fiesta brand and back for backyard cooks. Now that's a very interesting thing because I've been trying now recently. Just I've been seeing a lot of the meat, the butcher shops or whatever, just the local shops. They started selling their own, packaged rubs. And I recently tried one from El Cortez Market. Those of you who are in LA. It's a fantastic butcher shop. They have Wagyu flat meat, and it's fantastic. And great carne asada. They have the short rib, kind of cut thin. Excellent place. And I bought one of their. It was a Santa Maria style seasoning, and I tried it on on a tri-tip about 2 days ago. And it was incredible. It was really good. But of course, Santa Maria seasoning is just very basic. It's basically salt and pepper, garlic. But I
Yeah,
really appreciated the fact that it wasn't really packed with a lot of salt. So I gave it a good heavy sprinkle on there, and it was still wasn't salty at all. It was perfect. So I
right.
always appreciate it when companies do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but
it's
Simon here says to turn off your Amish porn hub, Lance.
I saw that.
uh,
It's on the phone, and I'm trying not to look at the phone because I'm not looking at the screen if I look at the phone. So,
Lance buys rubs and uses forward scan sonar. Outdoors in Maryland, welcome,
yeah,
Simon.
that's good for being silly.
Mario Kukar, MVL Vat, everybody's saying hi. Lance loves the Amish salt.
I'm sorry, Chad. I can't. I'm not really seeing the live that much. I see it, but it's in
the,
micro small letter.
uh, I'm trying to as best as I can to go through this when anybody's asking you anything. I'll highlight
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
sure. I think everybody's saying hi to each other. Welcome, Guggen. Um, Peaceful Des, how are you? Welcome. Let me see. Lance adds his own salt semen. Damn, Al. Damn, Al's getting. He's got some jokes.
I don't know if they
Bad.
can see me put a thumbs up or
Oh,
not.
I thought you were flipping them off.
Des, well, I did read Des.
Let me see, Lance. Lance, I got it. Thank you. Going to share it on Friday night.
Yeah, she
Uh,
got her new logo embroidered, and I sent her one.
Everyone I come across in LA tells about El Pato sauce. Wait, El Pato sauce is not available everywhere? I did not know this. But yeah, so let's look at the poll right now. It looks like a combination of the above is winning with a very heavy 53%. And I think I kind of expected that from the live chat, because I think we're the type to just want to experiment, want to try everything. So, if you're gonna buy whatever's on the shelf on emergencies like myself, I'll if I just need something quick, I'll go to the store and grab it, whatever's just there. But obviously I have my own favorites, and when that doesn't cut it, if I feel a little, I want to experiment a little bit, I'll make my own. So for me, I fall in that 53%. It's a combination of all the above. I make my own. I buy the from the independents. I buy it from the big box stores. So it's all good for me. It all serves a purpose. You know, the
I
convenience
think a lot.
factor of just going to the store, any Walmart or whatever, is it's hard to beat. But you did say that a lot of the stores now are carrying, like Walmart. I know they're carrying the how to barbecue right, Malcolm Reed's rubs.
Me too.
Yeah, so I mean, even that. I mean, for a while he was independent, but now, I mean, what differentiates it is once you hit Walmart, is that just you're officially not you're a big box person now, or what do you think, Lance? As soon as you get a big distribution like that, you're no longer independent, or you still hold that title?
Um, no, I think you sort of kind of crossed the threshold there to being a big box store. I think, you know, I'm one of those people that, you know, I sure hope it drives me up the wall when people get so big and they just forget where they came from and the people that helped to get them there. And I just hope that, when they do cross that threshold to the big box store, that they don't forget about the little guy. You
Yeah,
know, I like the the stuff too, but um, I guess one of the things that just popped in my mind just now when you said that, and I sort of kind of debunked my original thought that came into my head. It's like freshness.
yeah,
How long is this sitting on that shelf?
yeah.
Um, and is it rotated? Which I guess you wouldn't know that unless now they're putting dates on everything. But
Mm-hmm.
um, how long has it been sitting on the shelf would be something that I
Yeah,
would ask. But same token, how long do you know it's been sitting on the pallet? At the manufacturer's facility for that matter. But I don't know.
yeah. So yeah, so the pato sauce is basically a little. It looks like like a tomato can. It's sauce. It's spicy. It goes great on a lot of stuff. But I just didn't think that was an LA. I didn't think that was an LA kind of thing.
I've never seen it. I was talking to Simon a couple weeks back that you he talks about all the time going up in base, and it's probably because it's more of a transient area. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that have shipped into that base, uh, from other states. So that could be why there's a taco store up there. But I can tell you, I can think of one Mexican food place, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think that they're not trying to keep the tacos away. It's just that we just don't have that variety there. And we've got a lot of
Yeah.
farm around here. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that farm this land, and watermen, and a lot of construction too, for that matter.
Yeah.
But so as far as that El Pato, whatever it was you said it was, like Q
It's like a
Pato,
chili sauce. It's like like comes in a little can. It looks like tomato sauce, but it's spicy. It's tomatoey. It's I like I said, I just kind of I didn't think that was an LA California thing. That's to
yeah.
me it's just mind
I
blowing.
get something like that. It sounds like it's fitting your description, but it's not that name.
Yeah.
But I do get something, and it's just a little small, like a one-time use that I get. But
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it right now. But the variety of stuff like that, it's what's sort of kind of a bummer, because I don't get the variety of different things.
Yeah.
I just found a place that sells Modelo's and six packs. The other place I used, they wouldn't sell you a six pack.
Oh yeah, so pato means duck. Forgot to explain that to you, Lance, but it's duck sauce if you want to translate it, which sounds awful, but that's what it's called.
Well,
So
we
let
have a duck sauce that they use for egg rolls.
yeah.
It's a
So
duck sauce that they call it. It's like a sort of an amber-looking, translucent sauce
yeah,
that you get at Chinese food places. They call that duck sauce, but I don't know if it's the same.
yeah. So here let me see if I could do a screen share. So I'm going to talk about my favorite rub that I use, and if you've watched me since the beginning, I use It's Incredible. It's an all-purpose rub. I use it on everything, and sometimes it's a base layer, and then I layer something else. Sometimes that's all I put in it. I've cooked like just carne asada with just that rub. I've cooked, chicken with just that rub, but I also layered, other stuff on it. I feel when cooking beef, I almost prefer to use that and then add a little bit another extra layer of pepper. But those it's a great for those that are looking for an all-purpose rub. I highly suggest that. It's incredible. I recently got one of the two of actually the other one's called Amazing Blazing Cajun, and the one's called Smoky Jalapeno. So be on the lookout. I'll be using these rubs on a future cook.
Yeah, now I have used their rubs before too. They have a blackening one.
Yeah, I bought that one too, and I've never tried either of these, but now I tried their Texas brisket. I tried their rib rub, but yeah, for those looking for an all-purpose rub, give them a shot. And then obviously, if you're looking for a good, they got a lot of good stuff on their website. You check them out, heavenmadeproducts.com. And we also let's since you mentioned it, Lance, let's also talk about
Well,
um, Uncle
open mouth and
Steve.
good foot.
Uncle Steve right now. So they've apparently have 15 and one sauce. So Uncle Steve's. I mean, the last time I looked at him, I think he had like maybe six or seven. So did he just recently get more rubs?
He, he did just come out with a few new rubs, some very recently, and then a couple others that have been within less than a year's time. But yeah, he just came out with, well, the SPG's not that old.
Okay.
Magic Rib, that's pretty new. Um, I like that one also. The Texas, was it Texas Red? That's less than a year old. West Coast less is less than a year old.
Yeah. So I
So he's
mean,
got.
so he's expanding. I know that magic rib. It's been on my feed as well. There's been a lot of people cooking with that, and it looks delicious. That color you got on those ribs, Lance, I think that was courtesy of that magic rib rub, right?
The rub, but you know, I am a back to Uncle Steve. I hope people actually try it because
Yeah.
I'm honestly not just saying that to say it, but and everybody has different taste buds, but I once I tried Uncle Steve's barbecue sauce, the sauce with no name,
Yeah.
and I've tried it different ways. I've mixed it with bourbon. I've cooked it to thicken it up. I've done some stuff with it. Um, but I wanted something different with that with those ribs. And before Uncle Steve's, I was all about Blues Hogs. I
Yeah.
love Blues Hog sauces. That chipotle raspberry they have. I mean, I just squirted it in my mouth just now. That'll be a joke coming up here soon. When I thought about that raspberry chipotle, it's some good stuff, but it
Yeah.
wasn't any good. It's been in the refrigerator too long, so I threw it away and um, that Smoky Mountain, and that's
Yeah.
good. And they got one that's called Texas Red, which is like a vinegar base. That's
Okay.
good. The original is good.
So wait, they
So
they they have a Texas red because I know the one I tried was a Tennessee red, and that was also a vinegar based one. It was great on
it,
wings.
it probably is Tennessee Rub. My last comment that I can see is Simon, and it says Texas. So I may have said Texas because I was reading that, but Tennessee
Okay.
Red. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And then Simon says he's had 12 for a long time. Okay, so I mean, I just imagine because I remember buying his or wanting to buy his little variety pack. I think they came with eight, so that's why I was shocked that it's right on his front page that there's 15. So I was like, oh, that's double as what I remember.
Uh,
uh, Texas
he's coming
Texas
out with a lot of
Cajun.
stuff. He's coming out with a
Yeah,
lot of stuff. The other thing
yeah,
is that you could get um, what I think is pretty cool. So you can actually become at his discretion, his being Uncle Steve, sort of like a test pilot. If you notice, a lot of those guys in Houston, they all pretty much got uh, the 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 magic rib
Yeah.
when they were in Houston.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of those guys got bottles. I think I remember Lep definitely
Hmm.
that had one that had no finished label on it,
Yeah.
and so he'll sit it out there, and he actually gets people to to give feedback on it in case he wants to tweak it before he actually puts it on the shelf and starts shipping it and puts a label on it.
Yeah.
Um, he did. I was able to do that one time with his competition pig shake, or the chicken shake. One of the two. It was one of those two,
Hmm.
and I thought that was pretty cool. You sort of kind of you know get someone else's opinion before before you just
That's,
run with your own.
I will tell you that's
I,
smart. That's
yeah.
it's your in software, there's called beta testing. You
Mhm.
have a build part of a piece of software, and you test it out. You test it within the company, but you also throw it out to beta testers, and just kind of because they're a little bit more, they're gonna go through the motions of trying different things and different setup that they have. But I assume that that's how rubs work the same way. You need beta tasters because different cookers, different proteins, different people cook differently, so you kind of want to get it out there to them and get some feedback. And just, oh, it's a little bit, it needs a little bit more pepper. If enough people tell you it needs a little bit more pepper, then maybe you should add a little bit more pepper.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's how it should be. You shouldn't. But I think obviously, like especially these competition guys, it's proven. If they win them if it wins them an award, that's all the beta tasting that they need. Just package it
Yeah.
up and sell it, and go
Yeah.
that route. But I think
Yeah.
for the non-competition guys, I think that's the way to do it. And I think Al does that too. He sent out a couple revisions, as he calls them, different versions, and he's constantly. Well, I don't know if he's still manipulating the recipe, but I
The
know for a while I
formula.
remember him. He was tweaking it. He's making different versions, and that's how you do it. You got to tweak little. I'm assuming it's just like little micro adjustments. You know.
Yeah. There was a guy that actually sort of kind of, I wouldn't say I was involved in it because I really wasn't involved in it. It was a conversation that I took part of, but you know, one of the guys I really deeply miss is Daniel from Barbacoa Bandits.
Hmm.
He came out with a rub, and I remember one night he had asked, it was a chat, and he was saying something about what did people think about his rub, and a lot of people really loved it, but he
Yeah.
changed the pepper,
Hmm.
and then when he changed the pepper, it's like everybody couldn't get enough of
Yeah.
it. Or elite smokers, he even went out as far as actually did a live shout out about it.
Hmm.
And I see Guggen made a comment, but I know Guggen was one of the ones that really enjoyed his rub too. At least he said he did. But I think a lot of people really loved his rub. But and that was he was got feedback from other people that had his product originally, and then he
Yeah.
just tweaked it with that pepper grade, and I
Hmm.
think it like just took off for him at that point. But
Yeah.
and then he just disappeared.
Steven here says, which I kind of wanted to talk about it. He says he seasons his steaks simple: salt, pepper, garlic, and he's ready to rock. And I honestly, when I do make my own rubs, sometimes, and a good SPG mix is all you need, especially on a steak. I like it. Once it's super easy to mix up. You got as long as you come up with a ratio you really like, then stick with that. But
Yeah.
things like pork, it might need a little bit of color, a little sweetness in there. But beef, a little cumin in there could, elevate it. Just little things like that. But I agree with you, Steven. Sometimes salt, pepper, garlic, especially on a expensive or good quality piece of meat. Sometimes you just want that meat to shine. You don't want to cover it up with too much. I know when I
Yeah.
cook, certain types of meat, I like to do salt only.
Yeah.
I cooked the brisket salt only, and that was pretty good. And it wasn't even that good of a brisket. It was just a standard choice, and
Yeah.
I just because I wanted to try it, and surprisingly, it was good. Sometimes salt is all you need. So it's just different variety, different flavor profiles, different needs that people want. So that's why it's a good discussion to have. Just because I know, if you love experimenting with rubs, so there's nothing I could tell you to, just start using salt, pepper, garlic, because you're just used to. If you have a pantry full of stuff, you wanna use it before it goes bad, you know. But
Mhm.
one more note about Uncle Steve's rubs is you sent me the SPG and then the dessert shake, which I still unopened, Lance. It might hurt your heart
Okay.
that this thing is still
No.
sealed, but I wanted to come up with a good video for it, and I think I finally have it. And it's gonna be
Oh,
I'm gonna
nice.
add it into a glaze. So I'm
Okay.
gonna make my glaze, and I'm gonna put some of that in there, and I think it'll be good. At least that's how I envision it. And that's how I'm gonna crack that open. But that SPG rub I just used it all up like immediately. I love the thickness of it. I think you mentioned that on
Yeah.
one of your lives. I'm a big fan of the thick rubs where it's just you get that nice crust. It's fantastic. So big shout
Yeah.
out
I
to.
like it. I like it also because of that coarseness. I did use that dessert shake rub on grilled fruits. Man, that was
Yeah,
killer. I think George made some candied bacon with it. Of
yeah,
course, buttered toast in the morning with a sprinkle of that on top of your toast is good, but
yeah,
or oatmeal. But the grilled fruit that was excellent. That
yeah.
was so good.
That's good. So I'm gonna do that, and maybe like just take that idea, maybe grill some, like, some watermelon or something and sprinkle it on there. I think that would, because I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to grill watermelon. I know it's very summer's coming along, so I think channels need that kind of stuff, to help, create a little bit of, I don't know what it is, but a little bit of excitement, I guess. Summer's here,
Yeah,
barbecue. People are going to be grilling. So, hey, this guy just grilled some watermelon on the grill. Let's give it a shot. What can
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
the other thing too that I want to talk about. This is the first like independent rub that I bought. And before I was just sticking to making my own and whatever was at the store. And I remember the Heath Riles stuff was the very first kind of where I made my order and 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 just and love their stuff. I would look for the sales because they would have a big, like, at the end of the year they would have a bunch of stuff for sale, and I remember buying a big, kind of an assortment of the different stuff. And I'm a fan of the Heath Riles. Of course, now he's a lot bigger than he was back when I first started, because now his website definitely looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. Um,
Hmm.
and it looks like he's got a lot more rubs. Have you ever tried Heath Riles stuff?
I have. I've
Yeah.
tried quite a few of them. The last thing I bought from him was the butter bath.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you know, it was okay. I mean, I didn't really get the and I hate to even come out here and say stuff like that because I don't want to hurt the man's business, but it didn't do that much for me. Not that I
Okay.
what I was expecting for it to do.
Yeah.
You that's just me personally. people have got different taste buds. The things
Absolutely.
different. Something in a recipe will just make someone say wow, and then the same exact recipe, the same exact cook will make a second person say, I didn't taste that.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Oh, sorry.
so I hate.
Mom and Papa Joe popped in here, but hi CJ, thank you for joining. I gotta catch up with the chat, but yeah, I think it's because I've wanted to try that one, but I never did, just because I think the idea was you didn't need to put in brown sugar, butter, honey, or any of that stuff in your wrap, right? That was the intention. So that just it's easy enough to just put a powder in there and just make it happen. Is that the idea?
Pretty much, but
Yeah,
in my opinion, it was too wet.
yeah,
That was my biggest thing. I
yeah,
wasn't crazy about. It was
yeah,
too much time. Times your ribs,
yeah,
did their thing,
yeah.
and
It
and
also,
that's
yeah, and that's what I would also say to that. Probably the reason I probably never bought it just because adding my own butter and sugar and honey, I could do that on my own. It's not a hard thing to do, and it's probably better just because it's fresher, versus something that's powdered. I don't know. That's just my
yeah.
first thoughts. But I am fan of the garlic jalapeno rub. I'm a big. I love it. The pecan rub was also my go-to, and I've used it in a couple of videos. The pecan rub on just any pork is great. It's got a good, nice little flavor. That goes great. But I think I've tried most of these: the beef, the apple, the peach. The peach is also really good. Um,
Yeah, the pecan I did. I think there was one called something garlic. I can't because I haven't bought none for a while, but I've tried at least
yeah,
six different seasonings of his, and there's a
yeah,
lot of channels that are really huge supporters of his, and that's great.
yeah,
I think it's great. It's just that you know, I, I I liked it. I would buy it again, but I was curious about other products still. And at that point, I was trying different things to where I got to the point where I didn't buy any more Heath Riles. I found
yeah.
other things that was satisfying me.
And then the other big one too that I would enjoy, especially on their sales, because I got a bunch of them. I get to try a bunch of their rubs. I think he still does that, like every Black Friday or Christmas or something. One of those sales where he's just like a rub or a sauce would go on sale every day for 12 days. I think he called it the 12
Uh,
days of Cosmo or something. But also excellent rub. I have the Dirty Bird here. It's one of my
that's the
favorites.
only one I've ever tried of his is the Dirty Bird. It's the only
Yeah,
one I've ever tried.
I enjoy it, and that's as far as the rubs that probably every YouTuber tries is probably the Heath Riles and the Cosmos, and now
Yeah,
obviously Uncle Steve is now heavy favorite now. I'd rather you gotta, because I think Cosmo and Heath Riles I think they're good selling their stuff. They expanded their stores, they got more rubs on there, so it seems like I think they're in good shape as far as their rubs are concerned. And again, these are competition guys, so at least that's how it was told to me, was these rubs won them uh, you know championships. So of course that immediately gives you a good market, because hey, if it's good enough to win him championships, I want to try that rub. Maybe it'll win me championships. So amongst the
yeah,
competition people, it's probably really huge. And then of course it's for us, for the average Joe. Then yeah, like I want to do competition barbecue at home. Let me just buy this rub, and then thinking that's all it takes. But I think it's a good starting point. I think to get some good cooks out there starts with a good rub, I think. Uh, but
yeah.
um, but
Heath
here's
Riles would good.
no. What were you saying, Heath Riles?
I think Heath Riles was probably a little bigger into the competition cooking than Cosmos was. I think Cosmos he did competition cooking, but I'll be honest with you, I have more memory of him being an interviewer
Yeah,
than actually competing in the cooks and the
yeah,
competitions. But
yeah. I think that's accurate. I think, but so I've got four rubs here that I've never tried before. These three of these were gifted to me, and one of them I bought. So the one I bought that I've been seeing it everywhere on Instagram maybe a year ago, and I finally had a chance to purchase is Hardcore Carnivores. That super dark rub. I want to try this on some steak. Lance, have you tried this one?
I have not, but I have heard about that
It's it
rub.
it was like on every person's Instagram. I think like last year or like 2 years ago. It was
Yeah.
just everywhere. Everybody was doing it. They're doing the tomahawks. They're doing their, their tri-tips on there. It's a very popular. But finally, I get a chance to try that out. And these are the three rubs that were given to me. Two of these, one of these probably will make you laugh, or people from Texas will make you laugh, and I'll show that one, which is the maybe it's good, but I got the I don't know if you could see that, but the Bucky's fajita seasoning. So
Okay.
this is gifted to me. A friend of mine went to Texas and he just loved it there, and he was fell in love with just barbecue, and he thought of me, and he just was buying just random rubs, and this is what he brought me with the Bucky's fajita mix. But anybody in the chat, if you have experience with this fajita, if it's garbage, if it's good, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I've never tried it. The other one was the Salt Lick Dry Original Rub. I mean, never tried it, but chat,
Never heard of it.
if you tried it, let me know if it's any good. And then the Cruise Market barbecue rub. It's probably not going to focus, but for those that are familiar with the rubs, you could probably just tell with a blurry bottle what it is. But those are the three rubs that were gifted to me. So special shout out to my good buddy Greg. He enjoyed his Texas trip over there, and he just brought me a bunch of rubs because he knows I love to barbecue. And that's all I got as far as stuff that I wanted to show, rubs and everything. But I'm way behind on the chat. See what people say
Let
here.
me ask you a question. You talked about store bought, and I'm just curious because how about McCormick seasoning? Is their barbecue line? Have you tried any of that? And if you're a fan of any of it, in particular, the Montreal seasoning?
The Montreal seasoning. That's the one that I'm most familiar with, and I've used it on videos. I think I love the thickness of it, and I've used Bloodsoe's brisket rub, and it reminded me so much of that because I've used Montreal steak seasoning on a brisket before, and it comes out great.
Mhm.
So I have no complaints with that. I appreciate that's one of the rubs that it was my go-to for a long time. Not just in steak, and just in everything. It's just in all. Like I said, I'm a fan of the thicker rubs. You're not a fan, Lance?
No, I am. My wife, actually, my wife, when she's cooking, that's her go-to.
Yeah.
I mean, that Montreal is her go-to. The other one is my sister. She gave me a bottle of it. It's their jalapeno garlic. I want to say it was.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Joe?
Bum, bum, bum. And then I still put Italian dressing on my steaks from time to time, along with SPG. That's an interesting
Yeah.
combination because I think the Italian dressing. I'm not even gonna debate that because the Italian dressing marinade, as for chicken, it's absolutely the best thing. I I would literally buy those bottles specifically to marinate my chicken back in college. because it was just
Yeah.
it's a good flavor right off the bat, and it's just easy. I didn't have to mix any special marinades. That was my go-to. And
Yeah.
spoiler alert, my marinated rib video coming up, I used the Italian dressing on it. I
Is
know
that right?
I know a lot of barbecues like marinated barbecue ribs. What are you doing, Sal? But that was part of an experiment, and it surprisingly, well, I'm not going to mention anything. You'll have to see the video, but it was just a thing that I wanted to try because I didn't want to make my own marinade. I wanted to be accessible, and I remember that that marinade, the Italian dressing, went great on chicken. And well, ribs are, pork is the other white meat, as they
Right.
say. So, and it came out good. But I have my thoughts, whether you should marinate, ribs or not, because I mean, there's nothing wrong and there's nothing broken, as you know, Lance, to just get you a nice rack, seasoning, and hang them on your grill. Why
Yeah.
would you want to mess with that? That gives you the best rib that I think I could make. Is just you hang them on there and you're good to go. And the more stuff you start layering, the more you kind of screw things up. But I was surprised. I'll say that much. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
It actually brought a memory back for me. We went out tuna fishing, and when we came back, um, the guy fired up the grill and he marinated the tuna steaks in an Italian dressing before he put them on the grill. And I mean to tell you, they were so good. I was like,
Yeah,
this is fresh tuna, and you're going to put it in a
yeah.
zesty Italian dressing? But it was so good.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna laugh at people's concoctions because sometimes they'll surprise you. They'll really
Yeah.
really surprise you. But I think the Italian dressing on the chicken, that's like a well-known like kitchen hack because that's super easy. You just throw a bunch of
Mhm.
usually leftover Italian dressing, unless you're the type of person who doesn't like Italian dressing. But I usually have some at hand because I enjoy it on my salad. But usually that's a good way to like, oh, there's about this much left at the bottle. Let me just dump it on some chicken and go to the grocery store and get a nice fresh bottle. You know, that's kind of my
Yeah.
go-to now. Um, as you know, says Al, I ain't joking, bro. You got your game on with that rub. Absolutely, Steven, I agree. Al's rub is fantastic. Um, let's see, Al, man, ever so often I just sprinkle some in my hand snack. Thank you, NVL. I think his stuff is available at Walmart. I think he's probably talking about either Cosmo or Heath Riles, but that's
I
cool.
know Cosmo, I know you can get it at the True Value.
Yeah,
They
Ace
got
Hardware.
a lot of their Ace Hardware. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can sprinkle some of that Baca rub in Modelo or Corona. It will be killer. Now I gotta try this. Now I'm gonna try vodka rub on a beer. So my wife and I, well, my wife mostly, she was making margaritas. We had 3 margarita nights. It was like 3 weekends in a row, and she was just experimenting and making a margarita. And she uses mix to rim the glass instead of salt. She likes to use a little tajin to for the rim, and it pretty good. So maybe next time I'll be
Yeah.
like, hey, sprinkle a little vodka rub or you know a
Yeah,
little gator shake.
I've seen the rims on those where they were seasoned up with something. Oh, well, that's what Randy does. He does that
Yeah.
gator shake and beer, and I really think that's good too. I enjoy it,
Yeah, so Tommy
but
from
I've seen
Galera
people. Yeah.
Barbecue is a fan of that rub. Probably Heath Riles.
Um, I'm not sure. I saw the comment. I think it was one of the no name that you had shown.
Joe. Yeah, you got me. I have to remember to watch what I say, but yes, I did say I love the thickness of it. What's up, Joe? Thank you for joining. It's called girth. ¿Qué pasó el paso, Joe? I just turned it on to hear Sal say he's thirsty for the girthy or what? Thanks, Randy. I mean, no one's to blame but myself, right, Lance?
Yeah, no, I slipped one out earlier. I couldn't think of the right word. Used the first thing that came to mind. I was like, this is going to be a joke later on.
Rob says that's all he uses for chicken marinade. I'm assuming the Italian dressing.
Fine dressing, yeah.
It's good stuff. There's 30 for the girthy. I think he means thirsty. Sal said he likes them real big and juicy. Italian dress is awesome with venison. Cool.
Yeah, I've had that before too. That
Try.
and Parmesan cheese, the shake, not the
Yeah.
shredded, but the actual shaker of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
That on a backstrap is good.
So Barrio Cougar says I've heard of that it's good stuff. I use it. It's part of the Jugo Maggi. It's like he says it's the Mexican version of the W sauce, Worcestershire sauce. And the only time that I'm familiar with that sauce is a lot of people use it in their michelada mix. So that's one of the ingredients that they throw on there because obviously if you don't have it, you usually to throw some W sauce onto your michelada mix. Do you like micheladas, Lance?
I couldn't tell you.
You never tried it.
No.
So I guess it's like if you like those Bloody Marys, except it's not using vodka, it's using beer. Wife really loves it, but I'm not a fan. I think it's just too citrusy. I'd rather just drink the beer by itself.
Yeah.
I don't want it to
I've
be.
never had that one. Never had that.
What's up, David Hernandez? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. He definitely isn't scared of a bulbous piece of meat. Jokes keep coming. I mean, I deserve it, guys. I deserve it. I'll be a good sport about it. ¿Qué pasa, carnal? Yo barrio. Mix a Blues Hog original and tiger sauce for a basting sauce. Okay, I don't think I've tried tiger sauce.
I haven't either.
That was one of my things that I wanted to try, but I think you have to order that stuff. I think, at least here in California, I've never seen it around. What's up? Ben is in the house. How you doing? Orozco's Kitchen. It says, Peaceful Death says, we like mojito marinade for our chicken. Interesting. It's very interesting. So mojitos are 2 parts rum, 1 part, I guess, lemon juice, 1 part syrup, and the mint. The mint is very, very important.
Simon's got one there that you go Maggie is like Worcestershire and soy sauce had a baby.
Okay. Yeah,
Never had.
the only experience I have is with the michelada mix. I know a lot of people making micheladas. That's one of the ingredients that they use in there. Never tried it by itself. But I see it everywhere. So like most stores it's readily available. What's going on, guys?
Simon must have been on his head because NBL agreed with him.
These nuts is a meat church rub. Is it really? Do I have to look that up? Smoking Joe, sup. Everybody's saying hi. So what are we at the poll? So the poll, man, you know what's losing a lot? The buying from big companies. It's at 8%, and the combination of all the above is still high at 48. But the making your own rubs and the supporting independent companies are pretty close. So it gives you a nice little glimpse as far as content creators, because that's the majority of people in here, and of course, guys that don't have their own their own channels and everything. Guys like NBL, but they're heavily into barbecue. So it's
Yeah.
it's just it's a special class of people, that are just they probably have more than one grill. They're cooking more than once a week, they're trying new stuff. So that's a very interesting perspective that um
I
that's so
will say
close.
that I will say that I have noticed in a lot of these and the cooks that we that I normally watch, and it's pretty much a lot of the ones that people talk about in our chats. But I have noticed a lot of them that are doing their own little SPG multi-purpose type rub. Their own little shaker of it. I just saw the most recent one I saw was Brian with the bearded Italian. I
Hmm.
noticed he's got his own little mixture
Yeah,
and a shaker.
yeah. Ben over here says cheladas are different than micheladas. So, man, that's a good. So let's see if I have this right. Ben, fact check me. So I think cheladas don't have. It's not tomato based. I think it's just lemon, and those other, like the Worcestershire sauce, the tajin, and everything. It's mostly lime based, and the micheladas are the ones that have the tomato, the clamato in there. Could be wrong, but Ben is gonna fact check me, see if I'm correct. Go Kings go. So I don't watch hockey at all, so I'm not an anything fan. I just can't. I mean, I love the
Yeah,
sport. I mean, it's entertaining to watch, but I
yeah.
never got into it.
My youngest daughter, she's a big hockey fan, but I've never
Yeah,
really got into it either.
yeah. It's more entertaining than soccer. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely.
Also like
My
Mojo
grand
for our chicken.
my granddaughter's getting into lacrosse her first year, and that really surprised me.
Yeah.
She didn't want to play soccer because of all the running, and I'm like, well, okay, fair amount of running in lacrosse.
Yeah. So Ben says you're absolutely right, Sal. That's the difference from enchiladas and micheladas. Yes.
What was that? Was
That
that
was
a
a field.
dance or?
Oh, no, it was a field goal. Got my 3 points, lads. um, Speaking of getting points, I'm gonna grab a beer. Keep the. Can you see the chat? Keep them occupied, and I'm gonna show you another little thing that I found that
I
kind of goes
see
with
on
tonight's topics.
so small on my phone, I can't
Oh,
really
okay.
see it.
Well,
I just saw you
well,
this
just
stuff. It's such a delay on my phone.
well,
You
that's a
just
great.
hit done.
As I was saying, it's a great setup now because I could just like walk around and
Yeah,
like, can I do the step thing? Let me go to my
yeah.
basement. All right, let me grab a quick beer and I'll be back.
It's so weird seeing that delay. He's just now starting to do the walk thing. I guess it's my phone that's delayed. I'm not sure what it is.
Ooh.
Looks like
All right.
Sal was.
So I got my beer. I wanted to show off this. I've never tried it. Oh, you can't really tell, but it's tajin, but it's habanero. I've never tried it. It's obviously small, and I kind of trying to figure out what to use it on. I don't know if it's spicy or not. Maybe I should try it live.
Go ahead. Go Sal. Go Sal. Go Sal. Okay, I'll do something like you did. Go Sal. Go Sal. Go Sal.
It's much spicier. That's really good. It's like tajin, but spicier, as you would expect, right? Habanero.
Yeah, that's another one I haven't tried. Is tajin. I've
Oh,
never
what?
tried tajin.
Lance, you got to try tajin. Well, you tried Gator Shake, so I'm sure it's similar. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty good. It's 4 peppers out of 5. So it's not completely super spicy, but it's good. I think I could just eat it like that. Oh wait, an homage to Randy.
He froze up. Is it a
That was
powder
it.
or liquid?
It's a powder, but that does not good with Stella's. Do not put that in Stella's. It did not taste good at all. I wish I would probably just use it on Modelo or something. Probably be better.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to ruin it with Modelo.
Yeah,
How am I not saying it correctly? Modelo.
Modelo.
I didn't hear you pronounce the D.
Oh, the Modelo.
Yeah.
It's Modelo. You got to have the little bit of. I don't. What is that called? Just the pronunciation, Modelo or Modelo, Modelo,
Because you don't pronounce the E.
Modelo. So it's a hard L. I think it's what gives it away. So for non Spanish speakers, you got to soften the L. Don't say Modelo. Say Modelo. You see how it just kind of it's very subtle. Let me see.
Hell saying he got a new one called Tajin Twist.
Really?
Yeah. Great in my lemonade. Come on.
Let me see. Wait, let me see. I'm missing the chat. Looks like I was losing its balance. I missed a lot of it. So Simon says hockey. I like the putazos part. That means the chingadazos. You know what chingadazos means, Lance?
No.
Chingadazos means like, you know, hits. Like, te voy a dar unos chingadazos. That means I'm gonna beat you up.
I watched a YouTube channel of a lady trying to teach me Spanish. And, well, not me, but
Yeah.
that's what her channel does. But I disagreed with it. They were like teaching you words that they thought that you would use, and I'm like, well, those aren't words that I would use. But I tried it for a little while, but I've come to the decision that unless you're around a lot of Mexican people where you can practice it, use it, get told you're wrong, whatever, on a daily basis, it would be hard for me to learn the language.
Yeah. The funny part about that, Lance, is like this isn't Spanish. I'm used to saying pinche way. Those are the words I know. We love it. Funny stuff, Randy.
The show. What's up, Chef?
Looked like Sal was losing his balance. I almost did the Oompa Loompa dance there, right quick. Why are you not on the computer?
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't know you was referring to that one too.
Sal just took the stairs out of the closet. Sal's getting twisted. Steven, I got the newer tajin called Tajin Twist. It goes great in my lemonade.
There's that delay again.
Oh no. Spanish
What,
101, the Lance version.
I
What's
watched a
up, Drunken
couple of them.
Chef?
Using words that, like, I mean, maybe in an everyday world of a business, in a business environment, you would use those words, but
Yeah.
I don't
Drunken
even
Chef,
remember the word.
thank you for joining, Drunken Chef. Going to bed. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night, Rob. Good night, Rob. Everybody's saying good. So I think, I mean, let's just. We're an hour in. I think it's time to call it. I appreciate
Yeah.
everybody jumping in, but let's leave on a good note. Lance, promote your stuff. Tell us what your any future cooks, future projects, all that good stuff. We'll leave it on that. So just do a nice
Future
little.
future cooks, I want to bring in what words, Lance? I don't even remember. They were boring, Simon. Uh, future cooks, I'd like to bring in a chuck roast in the very near future. Uh, I have some other things that I want to do. I'm still stuck on that thing. God, I just can't bring myself to cook another something just like everybody else did.
Yeah.
And um, I
I,
gave.
yeah,
Good.
I would almost say, Lance, if that's bothering you, I would say just go right in the middle. Like say three creative cooks and then one just ordinary cook. Maybe
Yeah.
that. Maybe it's a matter of not just going all in on one, or the other. Just try to balance it out because I think the normal, quote boring cooks. I think it's good for the analytics. They want to see just a standard brisket cook, a standard rib cook, standard hamburgers. Just your ordinary grilled chicken. You know what I mean? Because I think that's especially now with the summer you want to have that content. You just want to have just your standard. I know boring because I'm in the same boat. I don't like doing those cooks, but I think they're a little important. And then, bring up the creativity, to just, I think the leftover idea, the stuff that you do with leftovers, I say, hey, this is how you cook a brisket, just nothing fancy about it. And then you make another video of just, this is what I did with the leftover brisket. And you just come up with just
Yeah.
something off the wall creative. And I think that's a good way to do it, especially
Yeah.
for you. Cause I know you like getting creative.
Thank you, David. I'm seeing Randy's comment. Actually, that sounds pretty good. Bacon peanut brittle. That sounds good, actually. But projects, I'm trying to turn the corner.
Yeah.
With the stitch art stuff. I want to get more into the press on items. Um, sorry, do you mind if I show what I made?
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. This is your timeline. So promote
So
and,
this is
and
going to be Sal's. I've gotten part way through it. Oh, I can't see myself. So there it is. So Sal's going to be the first one that gets a rear embroidery. Also,
watch what you say, Lance. I'm not getting anything up my rear, guys.
but he wanted the fitted hats, so we're going to go ahead and do an embroidery on the back side of the hat too,
Yeah.
and that'll be my first time ever doing one for the rear of the hat. But This is her. I don't think you've ever seen your logo on a hat, have you?
No.
Because, nope, because when they were used, they were actually a giveaway. So
Mhm.
you never even
This is
got
my
to see
first.
them.
This is my first piece of like merchandise, and actually, that's not completely true, because NBL did gift me a towel, right? I think he bought it from you, and then I was sent one of my own towels.
Pick
So
up,
that's the only piece of merchandise that
right?
I've
Yeah, yeah.
that I have.
But these are those decky hats. That's the flat bills. These are actual fitted hats. If you have a big noggin and you require 7 3/4 inch,
I knew that was coming. I'm surprised it fits in the camera there.
I'd put it on, but it would just cover my ears and I
Yeah,
couldn't hear nothing.
you careful not to block out the sun, you know.
But that one I've
uh,
got. I do. I am sort of kind of enjoying to do that one. I
yeah,
just didn't have time. I finally got caught up on everything, and I have picked up a lot of side work. Could use the
nice.
extra funds right now, so that's been keeping me pretty busy. But I am
Yeah,
caught up as of tonight. I've got a couple hats for Guggen done. Um, Chuck bought Tom Garvey a hat actually, so
yeah,
I got that one done too.
yeah. So for those watching the replay, be sure to check out Lance does embroidery. That's a second channel, but he does barbecue, he does embroidery. He also have a third channel, right? That Lance's sleeper. What is
Uh,
it?
Sleep,
Lance's Adventures.
Sleepers Adventures,
Yeah, so
yeah,
Sleeper's
Sleepers
Adventure.
Adventures. I'm gonna get more into that stuff, but we're just
Yeah,
starting. I mean, right now we're not that bad right now. We're 58, so
yeah,
we turned the corner a little bit when we were in the 80s, but they were 3 days, 4 days of that, and they were gone again. We were in
yeah,
30s at the evening.
yeah. So hopefully, like I said, like I talked to you, Lance, about that hat. I wanted something that I could wear. It's not going to be my working hat. I'm not going to go out in there and grill with that hat because it's going to get dirty. It's going to get messy. I don't want, it's sweaty. I don't want any of that. It's just, I know it made it more of a thing to wear my baseball cap in my videos. And now I want to sport my own logo on it. I think I deserve now to have my own little branding, so that's why I reached out to Lance for that purpose. So you'll be seeing a lot of those hats, and not ready to. That's a basic idea there. So you're gonna see a lot of mentioning of Lance's embroidery business, because hey, people might be interested, be like, oh, where'd you get that hat, or who made you that hat? Then people, I could already see people asking that question. So looks good.
You know, I,
Looks
and
good,
I
Lance.
just don't know. Thank you, Sal. I just don't know what else to do with it. I'm not a computer person. I tried that storefront. It's still up. I know it looks like crap. I know there's a lot of improvements to do, but I just don't. I'm not savvy with that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
and I had a website done for me
Mhm.
with my insurance claims business for relocation moves, and even that. I mean, I don't know if websites are truly a great way to advertise. I
Yeah.
have not had good experience with two of them now, and one of them's only a couple months old, so I know it's premature.
Hmm.
But the other one that was there for years, and that was professionally done,
Yeah.
and it looked good. But I never got one person that said that they saw me from the website. Never. So I don't know. Maybe people
Yeah.
have got some other opinions
Well,
of it, but
I definitely scoped it out. I know I know you had that website. I looked at it, and that's how I actually reached you out. It was just like a Saturday. I was like just on on my laptop, and I was just going through a bunch of stuff, and I got through your website, and I was like, I'm gonna hit Lance up. I'm gonna tell him kind of what I had planned, and I think that was when the idea first came up,
yeah,
to hit you up. But
I'm
I think we talked about it. I think we talked about this on one of your lives, and I said having a website doesn't hurt. It gives you credibility, you know. But I think, and I really honestly think, Lance, you should come up with a couple of just standard, really clever barbecue designs. And I'm telling you, barbecue guys, anyone cooking outdoors, you know, they you make something clever, something that looks cool, a shirt, a hat, or whatever, people will buy it. So you have a
Right.
standard design, you have, you make off 10 of them, you put them on your store, whoever's, wants to buy it will buy it. And I think you have something. So on top of doing the custom stuff, I think you should try to get into the let's make little clever designs, like little cool things, because I know I have a lot of barbecue shirts that I just buy randomly on Amazon,
Yeah.
and that definitely has a market for it, and just throw them everywhere, throw them on Etsy, on eBay or
And
whatever.
yeah, that's sort of kind of where I was going with that. I want, because I mean, I'm looking at, a second embroidery machine, a sewing machine. I've got a commercial 18 by 20 press. I
Yeah.
got another, I got two hat presses. I got another
Hmm.
shirt press. I got mug presses. And I need to get that stuff going because it's just sitting there collecting dust. And that aggravates me more than anything because I hate wasting money.
Yeah.
But I would love to do, I still have got to hang up on sugar skulls. I absolutely love sugar skulls. I want to do some of those that are barbecue related. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of them are just burning skulls, which is cool, but
Hmm.
uh, I haven't seen too many sugar skulls, that are like the flaming sugar skulls. I've only seen like
Yeah.
really two designs, to be honest with you. But that, and I've got the no panties,
Hmm.
slogan that would be
Yeah.
good on a shirt. So I've got a
Yeah.
few that I can get
Yeah.
going,
And
and I need to do that.
yeah, like I think, I mean, if I like sketching out ideas. So if I ever have an idea that I think that would look cool on a hat, I'll definitely hit you up. You could run with it, or you could just say, nah, that's not interesting, but I'll make you one, kind of thing. But I think I have little ideas here and there, just what would look cool, just to wear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us just are into that kind of stuff. I bought in stickers, random barbecue stickers online just because I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I've got like a Weber kettle on my car, those decals. Put them on. So, such a nerdy thing to do, put a Weber kettle on your car. But that's, it's cool. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah. But I want to do that. I keep talking about it. I keep talking about it, but I think I'm gonna, because I don't want to say I'm down on the cooking again because I don't want to go there. I was like, I'm not doing it. The hell with it. And
Yeah.
I I don't want to go back there. And um, I enjoy the idea of thinking, although it's not going to get views, I still
Yeah.
just get this charge out of creating something in my head, and and think about it. And it's usually someone else's recipe will spark an idea in my head,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, your example in the barbecue cook-off, a guy that I know, his wife was bitten by that tick where she can't eat, the beef and pork
Yeah.
because she has a bad reaction from the tick bite. So I told him about your grinding of the chicken,
Hmm.
and because she was dying for a hamburger, and I was like, that would be so cool to grind that chicken up and put something in there to create a binder in it or whatever if that was needed, and then grill her up, a chicken patty, a freshly made chicken patty with some grilled onions and sliced cheese, whatever she wanted on it.
Yeah.
I just thought that would be a cool idea, and then I got thinking, damn, that actually sounds pretty good.
No, it definitely does. I mean, the I've never done that smash chicken burger. I mean, who does that? All the smash burgers I've seen are beef, but that worked really well.
Yeah,
And then just I mean, because I eat chicken, I would say like the majority of the time. I cook up a ton of chicken. I mentioned on videos, I cook up a ton of chicken Saturday or Sunday, and then I just, shred it all up. And then and then it's just, I'm eating chicken during the week, chicken salad, chicken sandwiches, chicken with some rice and beans, and just creative ways to just eat chicken. And that's what I like. That's my day-to-day meal. It's just chicken, some sort of chicken
Yeah.
dish. So that is, I could probably say I mean, as much as I love my steaks, as much as I love my pork ribs, I could honestly say if the chicken was the only thing I could eat, I would have no problem with that. Because there's very versatile. You could make a
I
lot of good stuff.
can't believe you're even saying that. I thought my wife was one of the only ones. Every Sunday morning,
Yeah.
you'll wake up to two crock pots going, and all they're just stuffed full with leg quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And she cooks those things up, and then she lets them cool, and then she chops them up and has them
Yeah.
all during the week. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe you just said that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. The unfortunate part is my wife is not into chicken as much as I am, so it's mostly just like I want to have chicken, just readily available. I'll vacuum seal some of it, so there's like one or two baggies in the freezer ready to go. And chicken, just quesadillas, enchiladas, burritos, tacos. You could the whole menu of just chicken of Mexican dishes. You could put a little chicken in there, and then
Yeah.
you try to eat healthy once in a while. So you throw some chicken on some salad, some lettuce. I'm good. I'm good to go. Um,
Hmm.
but I know a lot of people. Yeah, I love my beef, and I gotta watch what I say now because I almost said I love my. Gotta phrase it. I gotta word it just right. But I love my beef. I love my pork. So it's not. So it's. I think it's also important to keep healthy too. So that you could enjoy those whenever you want. Because I'd hate to be in a situation where I cannot eat something that I enjoy. That would suck. Um,
Mm.
but okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and end it, Lance, and just any last words, any last requests, anything you want to shout out before we end this?
Uh, what we talked about Spanish 101. I'll use Brother MBL. I hope I used it. I mean, I'm not giving a speech, but I will say, well, Sal, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity for just sitting in with you this evening. Now I don't feel like I owe you anything since you helped me out last week. Uh, we're even now, but I do appreciate it. I love, I enjoy seeing the people, hanging around here and coming in our lives, and it's always the same guys. Surely it'd be nice if there was, another group of people that would come in. But I
Hmm.
enjoy seeing the same ones, and you were sort of kind of get to know them a little bit. So
Yeah,
there's something that we kid, someone about a
yeah,
month ago. When the topic comes up in a current live, you can always go back to that. You know,
yeah,
I remember when David said this, just in joking, but
yeah.
and I'll end that with NBL. I hope I use it right. Ahua.
Ahua.
Ahua. That's so cool. Turn me on to this West Coast gringo guy
Yeah,
because it reminded him of the gringo and the Mexican live show.
yeah.
And that guy saying that he said something about someone. Why aren't you here? You should be coming over here to the party. Oh wow! And I was like, that's so cool. I actually have it written down here beside me, so I won't forget the word.
You have to yell it too, Lance. You got to remember to go Ahua.
Okay.
It's got to be the exclamation points is what it's what gives it a little feeling, a little oomph.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, barbecue Mike? But all
Yeah,
right,
Mike.
let's end it here. Thank you, Lance, for joining. I appreciate you. I didn't mean to cash in on the me participating in your live so quickly, but it's a great opportunity. It beats me going in alone. I always appreciate having somebody else on here with me. So I do appreciate for your time, and you'll definitely be invited again. I'm trying to have my idea is to have a circle of, I consider you my friend, Lance. A good close circle of friends, just rotating you off, off and on, popping in here once a week to see, we'll talk about a random topic and see what you're up to. And hopefully as the
Yeah.
channel grows, the community grows, and maybe we'll start seeing more faces on here, along with the faces that we have now, and we'll just all be one giant barbecue family for years to come. That's what I'm hoping for. So let's end it here, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 7. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, no, I was going to say I would surely think that the word would have got out by now about the caveman on YouTube, but I guess not.
Maybe next
Caveman
week. Maybe
barbecues
next week,
on.
Lance. Next week for sure, though. The internet will catch on. All right. Thanks, Lance. We'll see you next time, chat.
We'll
Bye.
see you later, Chad. Thank you again, Sal. Thank you again, buddy.